Hi, Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. I was given this large block of box elder burl and asked to make a memento for someone, a special gift. It is beautiful wood. I decided that as the block was 5 inches thick, that it was almost too deep for a bowl, and decided to cut in half. I had to have help doing that, but then look at this figure out of this bowl. It is fantastic. Of course, the box elder as a burl has a lot of defects and a lot of voids. So the UV resin that I've started to use played nicely to fill in this crack and this void here and a little chink on the edge. But of course this little void here, I had to just leave it alone because it's just so much part of a hand-turned bowl. So let's turn this bowl. This block of box elder is dry and has a lot of burl figure. It was 5 inches thick, but I decided that this bowl should be on the shallow side. I went to a friend's shop who has a large bandsaw. There I could saw it in half to yield 2 bowls. 2 bowls are much better than one with a lot of wood wasted away. Since it is much thinner now, I glued a threaded waste block. Now I do not have to cut my tenon in good wood. Besides that, I do not need a tenon because the waste block mounts directly to my spindle. However, the wood is not perfect. There is a big hollow at the edge and several cracks marked in red that could present issues later, but this wood looks too good to just waste it away. Through most of this project, my tool will be my large bowl gouge. I'm starting with a bit of leveling the face. This is mostly for balancing, since most will be removed with hollowing. More balancing will come from the rim area. The wood is hard, but cutting from the bottom and therefore cutting into side grain helps. Then go on to shape the exterior. Unfortunately for your view, this work is next to the headstock. Many turners hollow solely from the outer perimeter into the center. That is okay and required for finish cuts. However, when I need to remove a lot of wood quickly, I like to reverse the gouge and cut directly into the face grain. This way I can quickly hog out a lot of wood, but always clean up with a standard cut from the outside in. I also bring up the live center a bit of security with these rough, heavy cuts. They may not be pretty, but they are effective. At this point, I have exposed some defects near the rim. Rather than waste away the wood until they are gone, I'm filling them with ultraviolet resin. The process works well to apply a thin bead, expose it to UV light, then repeat until the area is filled. After all that, a couple hours in the sun ensures the resin is cured. I scrape away the excess resin. Then go on to finish hollowing and removing the center mass. Even though this bowl is shallow, I select my heavy bowl scraper to finish the bottom interior. Maybe it is me, but I get a better surface with a scraper. Whoops, there is another bark inclusion that I do not want to leave. I poke out the loose bark and wood and fill it with UV resin. This time I got smarter and rigged the UV light and switch more conveniently. This hole is completely through the wall. Some masking tape on the outside will dam the resin while the top side is filled and cured. Later, after removing the tape, I can add a little more resin from the bottom side. Then more time in the sun. After leveling off the resin and a thorough sanding, I am applying wipe-on poly with a paper towel. At this point, I am hoping that it blends well later when I finish the foot. Beautiful! The wipe-on poly recommends a light sanding between coats. Since the bowl is still mounted to the lathe, this is easy. And again, hit it with wipe-on poly. Now to remove the waste faceplate that I glued on in the beginning. The bowl is mounted to a threaded live center, which will help center it in the coal jaws mounted on the spindle. As I start to part it off, the tool bounces a bit, so I turn down the faceplate to ensure a good surface, then continue with the parting tool. But then I chickened out and finished with a saw. This bowl is too nice to risk it. Now to finish off the foot. Just in case, I'm cutting a shallow mortise in the foot. Despite officially being a mortise, it also looks great and provides a void to help the bowl sit flat. After sanding, I apply the wipe-on poly. My fears did not play out. The old and new finished surfaces blend nicely. Since this is a commission piece, I also use a laser to engrave the foot. This mold needs a nice shine, so I'm buffing it with Triple E, white diamond, and carnauba wax. I like this setup since the extender provides ample room to manipulate a bowl while buffing it. I also have a Beal triple buff. That works for small projects, but for medium and large projects, the adjacent buffing wheels get in the way. This completes this beautiful box elder Burl bowl. The Burl had voids, which the UV resin filled very nicely. The resin is plain and clear, which seems to allow it to blend better than adding any color or foreign material. I trust the recipient will like the bowl and the memories that are attached to it. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my website because my notifications are more reliable than YouTube's. Please tell your friends about my weekly videos. I appreciate your comments and questions. Please wear your full face shield whenever the lathe is running. That's my best safety tip.